Have you run into some really tough things to declutter? Maybe some sentimental or emotional things? Well, today my friend Veronica is sharing her experience so graciously with us, and I'm really thankful. I think if you're at the place in your life where you're ready to consider decluttering sentimental things, that this might really encourage you. Well, Veronica is someone that I first got to know because you were leading a mom's group. So I just really admire your joy and enthusiasm. And you have faced hard things in your life, but you have this happiness and this joy about you. So I'm excited for you guys to get to know her a little bit through her story today. So one day I was actually driving to your house and I saw you putting a bunch of stuff into your truck.
I was packing up some stuff that I had collected because I was collecting 40 things a day for Lent for 40 days. And I was packing them up to take them to the donation site and just excited about getting rid of some things. Been quite an experience.
So what I like about your method is it's setting a goal for a period of time of how many things to get rid of. So I feel like this is really something that is manageable to put it into bite-sized pieces for somebody. Maybe you're dealing with hoarding, and maybe you're dealing with sentimental things that are hard for you to get rid of. This is a manageable way that if maybe the KonMari method didn't work for you, something like this would, where you set a number every day and just get rid of that many items. And like you said, it could even be like a piece of paper, but just reducing that overwhelm in your home to enable you to have more peace around you. Like you said, you have goals.
I've been trying to, I felt like God's been calling me to clean up for a long time, and
That's interesting.
I find it difficult, for years.
Is this your first experience of decluttering?
No, it's not my first, but it's my first major attempt of getting
yeah,
rid of a lot
40
of
things for 40 days.
Yes.
That's major.
Some things are big, some things are just papers, but that's kind of neat too. Cards that are 25 years old. That
somebody sent you in the mail.
I probably have every check I ever wrote from,
wow.
Back when they gave you back your checks,
right.
And all those things. And it's like, I'll have difficulty getting rid of them too, but I haven't. That's up in the attic.
Yes, I'm sentimental too, so I keep things like that.
Yes. But I've accumulated my parents, our parents have all passed away, and we have those other families' pictures and other people's accumulations became my accumulation.
Oh wow, yeah.
So,
yeah, that is something that a lot of people face overwhelm with, is decluttering things that they've inherited. So I'm really impressed.
I do have this goal for each day. Sometimes I'm ready for bed at night and all of a sudden I remember I didn't do this. And sometimes it's, okay, I know where one drawer of papers is that I could probably quickly go through, or, sometimes it becomes more than, these magazines or books, that books aren't as easy to get rid of either.
I know, yeah. Because I think that with books, we say, well, I am this person, or I want to be this person, or we put an emotional attachment to it, and we identify it. Like for my husband, it's his the things he studied in school, and for myself, it's something that I learned that was really influential in my life, and I feel like that book is what I learned, but really it's in here and here, so I don't need the book.
Yeah.
So can you share what was the hardest thing for you to get rid of? Or maybe an example if you don't want to go into what was the hardest thing.
One of the hardest things that I've been trying to get rid of for quite a while is I had a box of journals that I've written through the years.
You got rid of your journals?
I got rid of my journals.
Oh my goodness!
Probably 10 years ago, I knew that I was riding we were on a trip, and I thought if something happened to me, I would not want somebody to read my journals, because I read some of my mother's writing, and I think it was taken out of context.
Oh yeah.
And I was afraid that if somebody read that, they would take that in a way that thought it was towards them and take it personally.
So you're thinking about other people's well-being and getting rid of that.
Yes. Yes.
You are a very thoughtful person. Yeah, I've thought about that too in my journals. Like, do I want my kids reading this?
and I even when I'm journaling, a lot of times I won't write the name. I'll put something that I can identify, and I'll know. But I still didn't. I just know other people have read my mother's things and took it.
Got a little hurt.
Yes, and I thought I didn't want that to happen. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't get rid of them. I thought I have to go back and read them all again before I can do that, And
So you did.
I didn't. I read a few, and they didn't make me happy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So she brings up something really interesting that I've experienced. So getting stuck in nostalgia, and I had a lot of paper clutter upstairs in my craft room that I couldn't go through for emotional reasons. It was just too hard for me to make a decision or to go through. So that is a common struggle that people have, is like, or feeling like you have to read everything or touch everything. So that's very interesting. I didn't expect to hear something so I don't know. That seems like a really hard thing to do, is to get rid of your journals.
It was, and it has taken a long time. Did you burn them? I did not.
Oh.
I recycled them.
Wow, that's okay. That's brave, because somebody could find them.
I did think that, but I thought nobody that I know probably will find them. And I put them out on recycling day, and they went out, and hopefully they are they're being recycled into something wonderful. But that was quite.
You know, there are trash archaeologists, so somebody's going to find your stash, and they're going to be like, yes, payload.
Maybe. I don't think they'll find them that interesting. Because even when I was reading, you pour out your heart, but I don't know. If I thought somebody would really learn from them or glean something wonderful, that would have been one thing, but I don't. I think they're more for me to express what I'm going through at the time, and
like to process. And
yes,
for me, some of my journals are like prayer journals, and like it's me being able to look back and see how God brought me through something hard,
and the realization at the time when I'm writing, then I feel like things get revealed to me through just putting it down, and that part is really good. So I thought, I don't need to do that. And I've had, these were some of them quite old. And I thought if I haven't gone through them already and found something out of them, then I don't think I need to now.
So you shared your reasons for parting with your journals. What were some other reasons that you parted with things?
Clothes, a lot of them are very old. And my children, she wore that playing volleyball, and they wore that playing tennis.
So you're even going through a stash of like what was your kids' stuff.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I have some. Here. Do you want these?
Yeah.
Or do you want to go through them? But I think I got them when they were getting rid of them, and I said, "Oh no, I can't do this."
Yeah. I've experienced that too. I felt like I went through all of our things and I was done decluttering, but recently I decided to give away my kids' clothes, and that was hard for me. Right.
Each year becomes easier, and sometimes I do this very quickly. For me to get rid of something, I have to do it without
make a decision.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I can relate to that.
I went up to the attic, pulled down a bin of just they were my son's t-shirts, and it's like, okay, I can go through this. Now some I still will not be able to get rid of, but if I got rid of half a bin, that's wonderful to me. Okay,
so you said your son's things. Do you mind sharing with our viewers why that might be a struggle for you to get rid of some of your son's things?
Well, my son passed away when he was 22, so he had accumulated quite a few things, and so a lot of that came into the house. So it's in the very beginning, I wouldn't get rid of anything right after he passed away, but now, I'm a little more willing because it's been 16 years now, which is amazing.
Now the pain, I'm sure, never gets any less, but realizing that maybe the emotions aren't tied into the things so much, is that how you were able to, why 16 years would make a difference?
Yes, and some of the things, it's like, this is silly, is this what I want to remember, some silly but fun things I like to remember. Some things I like to look at and makes me think of him. I have heard, like, if the thing doesn't make you happy through several things that I've read, then get rid of it. So there are some things that belong to my son and my family that make me smile and happy, and there's some things that don't. So it's just, that makes it easier, that this doesn't make me happy, it makes me sad. So it's easier to, I want to keep something that, if that brings joy to me.
And I also personally find a lot of pleasure in having a physical item to touch and to say, my grandma touched this, or my grandpa touched this, or whatever. Like the birdhouse that you can see out back, my grandpa built with my son, and so to see birds in it, it just makes me joyful to have that physical thing. So I think decluttering is good. The idea is to live your best life intentionally and without as many limits. And sometimes clutter can cause us to be overwhelmed and anxious and stressed out. And so I'm so glad that you were willing to come today and to share your experience. I think it's going to inspire a lot of people. And I've got a random question for you. What is your favorite meal?
The first thing that came to mind when you said that was chili,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I must be in the mood, but chili is a nice staple for me. It's like when we go on vacation in the middle of the summer, we still have a pot of chili because it's easy and everybody enjoys it.
So people do chili differently. Do you do the cheese on top and chips underneath? My family would do nacho chips underneath. Do you do corn chips or just chili?
Rice underneath.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. Actually, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, my husband's family did that. They had
Okay.
rice with real kidney beans and what I would call chili. When I grew up, we had mashed potatoes with really baked beans, just regular like on top, and that was our chili.
Well, that's interesting.
But I've adopted over to his, and that's what I think of when I say chili.
Cool.
So yes, I would say that's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, mine too. My mom would make that in a crock pot growing up, and we'd have people over, and that's an easy thing to serve,
Yes.
and it's really tasty, and it hits the spot.
Yes,
Cool.
I have quite a collection of crock pots that I probably could get rid of,
But they're
but
useful.
I love my crock pots, and
Yeah.
to have them when you have company and you have a pot of chili and it just sits there.
Yeah, and your family's in the area, so you're frequently
Yes.
having them over to your house.
Mhm.
That's cool. Would you mind sharing what you're up to these days? Now, you said that you were a stay-at-home mom. How do you keep your days filled lately?
Then I became a school crossing guard.
Okay.
And I do watch my grandchildren sometimes a couple days a week, and
That's awesome.
enjoyable. Yes, and decluttering. And
I've appreciated that we've been able to connect, and that you've been able to speak into my life and now into other people's lives. Thank you. I'm so glad that Veronica was willing to share her heart with us today, talking about her decluttering journey. And I hope that you will stay tuned and continue to reduce the overwhelm in your life, decluttering and pursuing intentional living. If you enjoyed this interview and want to see more like it, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, click subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit the notification bell if you want to know when the next video is up. Hope you have a good day. Bye.